All right, so hey guys, Mr. G here with Alex and Larsh, and they're going to be telling us about Arms Trade Tycoon. You guys have got some stuff done since last time we looked at this, yeah?
That's correct. Hi, Mr. G, and again, and we have some stuff. Absolutely.
So
nice meeting you again.
Yeah, good seeing you guys again. If you're new and you haven't seen my previous videos on this, guys, Arms Trade Tycoon essentially lets you design tanks spanning from World War I all the way up to the modern era.
Well, today we are going to look at Great Britain. That's the main faction that's in the demo. You can see that we have other factions also planned for the game, but for the demo that will be that's the plan. So let's.
What percentage do you guys feel of the game do you have complete right now out the door? Now, I know you guys are talking about releasing a demo on Kickstarter in September, but where are you at right now with your build?
Well, I would say for the sake of the build, we are roughly 80% done.
Okay.
80-85% done. There are some mechanics that we want to, functional in the build.
But the bones are there. You've done the hard work.
There. Exactly. The bones are there. And this is actually what we wanted to show today. And the bones that we're talking about, it's really the process, the core game loop. That is, taking, developing different parts of the tanks, going through the engineering and design stage, making some tanks, finding the customer, selling those tanks, basically seeing, these tanks on the battlefield, how do they perform? Do they do good or maybe not that good? So that's the rough plan.
Well, I can see that this screen's got some work since last time I was on it. It's reminding me a little of Kerbal Space Program. We've got all the different centers. So it looks like we've got resources, we've got people to deal with, and we have cash. Look like the things that we're going to be dealing with when we're trying to make stuff.
Exactly. This is the top bar that summarizes the main assets that you have. The HR, different type of stuff is available. Workers, engineers, and like special characters that we call administrators.
Can you give us a little peek at the garage and where building happens?
So we can first go into the research. This is something where you get the different parts. You have different trees, research trees.
Sure.
You get your technologies. This is where you get your portfolio of parts. Given time, you invest your man hours. You kind of build up the building so you can have all of these parts available to you as soon as possible. But to save us some time, I will do a small cheat.
Okay, let's do some cheating.
Like this.
Let's see some stuff in action here.
When you finally build a tank, the tank will be represented by, I think it was like 60 plus attributes, right, Harsh?
Sure.
60 plus, was it?
Yep. Good.
This is the groups you can see. Say mobility. If you unfold it, you have, just for the mobility, you have what? You have like 9 different groups.
Okay.
And if we go to the, to the ricochet and to the protection, you see that actually the protection itself is split.
You got a lot of different variables there. We have angle, width.
Yes.
Okay. Well, can we put some tracks on this thing and slap some guns on it and put it in a simulation?
We can. But first, let us do some development. So let's start with the classical one. Let's start the Mark 1.
Okay, sure.
First thing you do, we will start to shape this one, to our needs. Down there below, you have something we call the sockets for the modificators. So this is additional pieces of equipment that you can attach to your tank. And when you do that, they add their share to the attributes, but also they add their share to the mass, to the resources, and the complexity. So let us quickly build.
There are a lot of part options on here. Look at this. It's like a sunroof on the top. What is that? That's not a sunroof. What is that crazy triangular
that's
bit?
For you to get a good suntan. That's very important in the
This is some old school World War I stuff.
Exactly. So we go for that. We start building. We start developing these building blocks for the tanks.
Okay.
So we are designing, and we definitely want them to perform well, because that will impact the reputation that you have for the tanks.
Okay.
That will basically make it easier for us to sell them.
Sure.
So it's the better the tank is in the battle, the easier it is to sell. So you can see right now I'm quickly going through the engineering phase and
Sure.
just.
Well, while you're doing that,
some
I've got a question. So you can build an effective tank, but let's say we're talking America during World War II, and they built the Sherman, which was just a garbage tank, but they were able to make a ton of them because they were really cheap. Is that going to be an effective model you could do? Could you make a tank that's maybe not that great, but it's super cheap and you can produce a ton of them? Would that be something you could be economically viable?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
You have this. You can see that you have this resource tab and you have the man hours tab. So this is something that you have to think about, because this is something that is baked in the price when you sell. So it's actually profitable for you to drive the business. Otherwise, you go bankruptcy directly.
Right. Now, the names you're using for the motors, like Daimler and Taylor, are you guys using actual names of real companies, or is there a copyright issue if you just made generic fictional names for your different parts?
For the time being, this is almost the actual name.
Okay.
This is almost the actual name. So Ricardo, there was actually a Ricardo on the Daimler. So that's
I mean, you guys know how tank nerds are, right? They love their tank lore and history. So I'm sure they'll be picking all of that apart when they get their hands on your game.
The whole. You see that this is the one that we have engineered. So it has all those parts. Now we need to add these different building blocks. So we add the running gear, add the engine. We go for
I like that cutaway there. That looks nice. All right, we got side-mounted cannons. Okay.
Have that. Have this guy. So we have the. We have the primary weapon. That means that we have actually.
Sure. Well, we can even choose shells and crew. I didn't even think about that. Oh, we don't make the crew. We make the equipment for the crew. I got it. That makes more sense.
Yep. So we take that. We call it Mr. G1, right?
All right. Let's send this thing out and try it out. How's it gonna do? I see you're speeding up time.
Yeah, we're getting some accidents and some sabotage and so on, because we're not really taking care of that in the moment. We are just rushing our way.
But random events are going to be part of the game, so things will happen from time to time, and you're going to have to deal with those. Okay. Things
will happen, and also some events are not really random in a sense. I mean, you can.
Right. Oh, that's a nice looking map screen. I want to see more of that map. I don't know. Always a sucker for a nice looking map. Okay, all right. So, is there going to be? Are we going to see front lines moving or anything like that? Or are we mostly just going to be seeing which countries we're selling to on this map?
You'll see the countries and you will see the campaign. So when there is a war, a conflict taking place, and you'll see this cross swords.
Okay.
They will be symbolizing the campaign, and we will get to one of these soon.
Okay.
When it's time.
Here we go.
This is the campaign. Here we go.
That's what I wanted to see.
So we can. Things are starting to happen there. And you can see the campaign A, for example. That's the first contract we won. You can see our tank.
All right.
They are equipped with our tank. 10 units. There we go.
Okay.
And we have to wait and see who will be the opponent actually in the battle. We have the softies, the anti-tank, the gun.
Sure.
We are a bit outnumbered, but we have guns.
Okay.
At least by the picture of that, they have machine guns. So let's.
Hopefully, we can school these.
What happens?
Lichter Kampfwagens.
Here we go. So the battle is split in phases. You have different phases for different sort of type of actions. First, we have to make it up to the battlefield, the deployment phase.
It helps if your tank. Your tank might get stuck, for example, if their tracks aren't able to go over the terrain. Is that something that could happen?
Exactly. And your unit loses, you know, it loses how many tanks will make it to the battle. So instead of 10, you'll have like 8. You can see we actually won the reconnaissance phase as well because we invested in, let's say, crew awareness. So we are the one doing the first shot.
Ooh, round 1. Yeah, they've got just like tiny little cannon there. Oh, look at that. Blew up like a Sherman. Nice.
You do like the Sherman, I can see. Well, there we go. So that was actually an easy opponent for us. That was a small tank. I mean, if you're a history fan, you know that in reality, these tanks, they really never made it to the battlefield, but we want to still to show it, to have it in the game.
Well, it's alternate history. That's the joy of playing games like these. You can play it out how you want to play it out. So you got a pretty detailed end game screen here.
Yeah, you have a battle log that one can study, and you know, the reason for the success or the failure. And yeah, this is Battle of Marne.
That tank looks a little harder, and we're outnumbered. This isn't good. Let's see what happens.
So I think I know what happens, but I don't want to.
I think we're gonna get spanked by this giant Sturmpanzer too, but we're gonna have to find out. Now we're getting a battlefield overview. We got some trenches. Is there?
As I said, I mean, this is there. Actually, you can see now the trenches made it more difficult for the tank to make it to the battlefield. So we lost actually some on the deployment phase. Now we are moving into the action.
Look at that.
This is the A7V and reconnaissance. So it will be the one doing the first shot. And
that cannon looks on par with ours here. I don't know. I don't think this is going to end well. Did we survive it? Did we survive? Yes. There we go. The Mr. G is still going. You just can't stop it. There we go.
Let's see what the gun with ours. We have a 3-pounder gun, by the way, so it's a smaller caliber.
Yeah, it's gonna bounce. It's gonna bounce. It's gonna bounce. Oh, we missed. Oh no. I'm loving this crazy German tank. This just looks like something they never built. Could have. I like it. Oh, are we still going? Or is this a different tank that keeps getting hit?
Let's save some time and let's look what happened at the end. I mean, one can always do that. And you see that actually we didn't completely, we didn't, overly lose, but we lost quite a lot of tanks.
We lost pretty hard considering they have 35 tanks remaining still. So we got hammered pretty hard there.
It's not that.
Before we end the video, what do you guys want to tell people about Arms Trade Tycoon? What's the last thing you guys want people to know?
I want them to come check the demo when it's out there in September. Check our Kickstarter campaign and join our Discord. We'll be happy to know what they're thinking about the game, any feedback they have, any ideas, suggestions they do have.
Well,
we're happy to talk to them.
It looks like a really fun game, and I know that you're going to get people that like Tycoon games, you're going to get people that like strategy games, you're going to get people that like car building PvP games, and then you're just going to get all the tank nerds. So all of you World of Tanks, War Thunder, Crossout people, keep an eye on Arms Trade Tycoon, join the Discord, link down below in the description, and big thank you guys for coming to talk to me about your game today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.